The Blackhawks lose 3-2 to the Seattle Kraken, and we have a ton to talk about. Join us next on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen. Sarah and Chloe are here. Mario's back at the UC gathering postgame audio. He'll join us in about 20 minutes, half hour or so. Hawks lose 3-2 to the Seattle Kraken, and there are so many storylines to get to, and we're going to, but first want to remind you to hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube page as well, and if you're listening on the podcast later on, we love you. Make sure you're following or subscribed on your favorite app. Let's just get right to it, Greg. This was their best 40 minutes of the year.
Yes.
The first two periods were great.
Yes.
And then they start the third period, not ready to go. And we're going to talk about the referees who play a role in this game, but this was a team loss. This is a team that fell apart in the third period. Penalties be damned. Bad calls be damned. At one point, they're getting outshot 12-1 in a game they had well under control for 40 minutes. This team needs to learn the lesson, and maybe this is what it's going to take, because there's been a couple games lately where they haven't played well and they've gotten wins. Maybe it takes a painful loss like this to get the message of, hey, you're feeling good about yourselves, and that's great, but you are not good enough to coast for 20 minutes against any team in this league. That is the story of this game. Do not get it twisted. The Hawks choked this game away today.
Yes. The non-call, then call on Bedard, terrible sequence.
Yes, 100%.
But they stopped skating in the third period. The way they played in the third period as a whole is far more egregious than that last sequence, because it should have never gotten to that point.
Right.
The game shouldn't have been 2-2 there. Yeah, the Kraken scored a couple of Kraken goals.
Yeah, weird deflections and pinball goals. Sure.
Through screens, but that's what they've done all season. That's what their team does. They don't have the speed and dynamic forwards that the Blackhawks do. They grind out their goals. They played their game in the third period. It's like the Blackhawks switched the second and third period tonight.
Yeah.
They usually they stink in the second and then they dominate the third. They flip that tonight. But you're coming off, look at these numbers. Second period, the Blackhawks at 5-on-5 had a 75.8% Corsi for percentage. 75.3, sorry. They had 29 shot attempts to the Kraken's 9. They had 11 scoring chances to the Kraken's 1.
Yep.
And then the third period, the Kraken had an 85.7% Corsi for at 5-on-5. 4 scoring chances. Blackhawks had 0 scoring chances in the third period at 5-on-5, unless you count the Bedard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, technically, I guess that was a score, but whatever. That's the story. The ref blew it at the end.
100%.
Should have been a slash on Bedard.
Yes.
Absolutely 100%.
Correct.
Does Bedard need to react the way he did while the puck is still in play in a tie game with 4 minutes? Probably not. Say your piece, skate on by, get back in the game, let the head coach handle it at the next whistle. What ticked me off even more after that was at the next stoppage, they had the camera on Jeff Blashill.
Oh, yes.
He's calling Justin Keogh over there. He didn't even go over there. He sent his partner over there to talk to him.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a bad call, own it. Go take your tongue lashing.
Yeah.
But you won't even go talk to Jeff Blashill? That's garbage.
Well, and look, like, you're right. Bedard should not have, while the play is happening, he could, oh, come on, ref, bad, and start busting his ass
I don't
back.
think it helped that, like, when he turned around, he was literally right in his
with
face.
The guy, right in his face.
I mean, that might have had something to do with it. Maybe the ref felt threatened. I don't know. It was a garbage call. Garbage missed call, garbage call on Bedard. I'm more upset to the fact that the game was 2-2 at that point. It shouldn't have been.
Right.
The way they dominated that second period, they came out in the third period, took their foot off the gas.
They assumed victory.
And got owned in the third period.
Yeah.
To me, that should be more upsetting than that whole final sequence, as bad as that was. It should never have decided. They shouldn't have been in a point where something like that could decide the game. The game should have been over at that point.
We're being called pessimistic idiots in the chat, which is
That's
fine.
fine.
If you want just like pom-poms and us throwing stuff because, the refs screwed the Blackhawks. That's not what happened. Watch the game. The Hawks screwed themselves. And yes, there was a moment where they got screwed.
Brett.
But here's the thing. In hockey, in sports, there's a term called makeup call, where if a ref reflects on a call and says, yeah, you know what, looking back on that, I probably should have called something there. And I'll get, as soon as I get an opportunity to make it right, I'll make it right. It happens all the time. It happens. Yeah. How many times have we, Hawk fans, been like, there's a makeup call?
A ref got in trouble for literally admitting that to a reporter.
Yes, exactly. Like, that happens. But if you are in the ref's face, pleading at him, yelling at him, and again, I'm not a lip reader, but from what I saw what Bedard said, it was nothing too bad. It's like,
no.
like, come on, you got to call that. That's brutal, or something along those lines.
I think he said, fine. You got to be effing kidding me.
But you're not going to get a makeup call when you get in the face of the referee. Let the coach handle it. Jeff Blashill, if he's proven anything through his time as head coach, is that he can handle it. And look, we just got done over the last handful of games, especially the last game, praising Connor Bedard for his leadership. That was a moment that when you talk to him tomorrow, whenever he gets to talk again, when he's cooled off, because he's still steamed in the postgame, which is great. I'm glad he's fiery. Upon reflection, that is something he has to learn to let the coach handle. It is not, you've never, like, Jonathan Toews was famous for going palms up on the ref, but that was it. He never got in the face for screaming. Maybe after the whistle, after the penalty had been called and he's on his way to the box, then you get your extra word in there. While the play is going on in a tie game, Connor Bedard's responsibility is get back and defend, not get in the ref's face pleading for a call. He's not going to change his mind in that moment. Oh, you know what? You convinced me. Arm goes up. No, that's not how it goes. It was a bad moment for Bedard in a game he played great. And look, while this team has overachieved this year, these are lessons that a young team, be it Connor Bedard, Ryan Green, Frank Nazar, Artem Levshov, whoever, have to learn at the NHL level. And this Kraken loss is going to be a massive teaching moment for Jeff Blashill and his staff.
I'm going to be very, very interested to see how this team comes out tomorrow. You got a game tomorrow.
Ass. Kick Buffalo's ass.
You're going to Buffalo, who is one of the worst teams in the league, again. Go up there and just win that game. Go out and win 7-0. Take your anger out on the poor Buffalo Sabres tomorrow night.
Exactly.
Go out there and play all 3 periods. That whole situation sucked. I'm glad Connor Bedard's mad after the game.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad Jeff Blashill pissed. That was such a weak call, but I'm more taking your foot off the gas and not playing for an entire period. To me, is far more offensive.
I totally agree with that,
because this team they're not the 2013 Blackhawks where you could play 20 minutes and still beat a team by 3 goals. So hopefully, this is one of those, okay, maybe this team needed to get knocked down a peg or two. Maybe they needed to, realize, okay, not everything's going to be easy. We're not as good as we think we are right now. Sure, we had a 6-game point streak. Things are going well. We're in a playoff spot. Doesn't mean crap on November 20th.
No, it does not. It's just so aggravating because you and I both were so ready to jump on this show and be like, what a performance. And this team has gotten to the point now where they can dominate Seattle's a playoff team, where they can dominate a playoff team and walk away with a win, where in the last 3 minutes are victory formation and you're feeling great about stuff. This would have been one of the best wins of the year, and one of those ones where you can say, hey, we're a week away from Thanksgiving. Officially, the Hawks just took 2 more points from a playoff team that they dominated for 60 minutes. Instead, they let the foot off the gas and they let the game get away from them. Like we said, before that Bedard moment, shots were 12-1 for the Kraken.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Right.
And Oliver Moore said it in the first period. They don't do much. That's what he said about the Kraken. He didn't mean it insultingly, but he just said, like, they're just kind of a low event team.
Right.
And you're getting outshot 12-1 in one period by the Kraken? Nope. This has to be a learning lesson for the Blackhawks. I'm confident it will be because, if anything, this coaching staff has earned our trust early on in the game. G.I. Joe 3211 says, are you going to address the misicing, the soft calls on Nazar and Mikheyev? Yes, of course. There are things happen in the course of the game where referees make mistakes. It happens in every NHL game. Calls get missed. Icings get missed. Offside calls get blown. It happens all the time. Unfortunately, you can't review icing. Don't get outshot 12-1.
Right.
It's not an icing call that lost this game. It's not. Come on.
The refs and the bad calls they made throughout the night did not cause the Blackhawks to stop moving their feet in the third period.
Correct. Yes. Like,
yes, the refs were
if you
trash
think
tonight, but the Blackhawks lost because they played like ass in the third period.
And I assure you,
period.
When
End of story.
When Jeff Blashill speaks after the game, he is not going to say, well, we got screwed. He's not. He'll have complaints about it and say, I think that was a missed call. I'll talk to the league, whatever he's going to do. But make no mistake. Listen, Hawks fans, we have suffered through 3 years of ass hockey that didn't matter because it was a battle for draft position, and it was a battle for the best whatever, right? And you want to play the kids, and you got these bridge veterans that don't matter. These games matter. They've put themselves in a spot where games matter. So let yourself get upset with them when they underperform. Let yourself feel upset after a game, and don't blame the refs. They played a role 100%. There's no doubt about it. But the refs are an issue in every game. The NHL refereeing is famously awful.
It's really bad this year.
Like every time
we've seen it a lot against the Hawks this year.
And how many times on Twitter have we said, I would say if I think this play is offside or if that's interference,
right,
but I have no clue what calls are anymore because it's so muddy. Officiating's awful, and it was tonight. But
it's not just in Blackhawks games. It's around the league.
Don't let the Hawks off the
Look at
hook.
that goal Tage Thompson got taken off the other night with that. Like, it's bad around the league.
Listen to this.
But the refereeing did not cause the Blackhawks to stop skating in the third period.
Right.
Yes, they missed an icing call. Should there have been a penalty on the Burakovsky play? We'll probably get that in more depth after the breaks.
Yeah,
on
we
that.
will, for sure.
Probably. The Nazar call wasn't great. Behind the, you never want to take penalties behind, the opponent's goal line. That's not a place for that. All those things happened when the Blackhawks were dominating the game and winning 2-0.
Yeah.
And then the third period started, and they stopped skating. Their best attribute, the thing that makes them where they are in the standings right now, the thing that separates them from almost every other team in the league, they stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Not because of a bad call. Yes, the bad call sucked. Yes, that whole scenario was terrible. The missed call, Bedard's reaction, and a penalty that, come on, we've seen Connor McDavid do a lot worse than that, not get called.
Of course.
But Bedard's not at that level right now. We've seen guys berate referees all the time and not get called. So I don't know why all of a sudden in that moment of that game that needs to be called. That's a bad call, but the game was they had already blown the game at that point.
Listen, hear what we're saying. That call sucked. The timing of it sucked. It was unnecessary.
Everything about it sucked.
But, however, you know what I mean? Like, he's got to keep playing. And Tim Evans in our chat said Nick Foligno would never get called for complaining like that. Nick Foligno wouldn't complain in that way. He would, if Nick Foligno got a breakaway, that'd be a story. And he gets slashed and they don't call it, he's going to continue playing. And when the whistle blows, then he gives the referee an earful on his way to the box. And referees are pretty lenient with that. They'll let you do that. Blow off your steam, go sit in the box, slam your stick, spike the water bottle, whatever you want to do. You can't do it while the puck is in play. You can't. And Connor Bedard is one of the league superstars, but what we have seen over the last few years with him, fair or unfair, not a great reputation with the referees yet. Has a bit of a reputation as a whiner, as a complainer. And you know how this league works. It's not right, but it is what it is. You've got to earn the call. It's stupid. It's one of the dumbest things about hockey, but it's real. It is reality. And it's something that he's going to have to learn. And as the years go on, he will get those calls. It's going to happen for him. But to blame this solely on the referees, I promise you, the Blackhawks themselves, the players, want you to think of them the way you think of the Bears or the Bulls or the Cubs or the Sox. They don't want you to treat them like a Pee Wee football team or a Pee Wee hockey team. Be like, yay, you guys played really good and just those stinky refs got you. No, the Blackhawks lost this game on their own. That is the story of this game. We will get a little more granular on the Burakovsky play. Some of the other things coming up next. We got a bunch of super chats we want to get to as well. Do us a favor. Please hit the like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page. And by the way, just because you don't agree with us doesn't mean you can't hit the like button. Right? All right. We're back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks presented by Bet365. And speaking of Bet365, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary there at Bet365. If you're a new customer, you get $200 in bonus bets when you bet 5, win, or lose. And with their NFL early payout offer, you are a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlays marked as winners. Download the app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. That you can double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. You'll deposit $10, place a bet for 5 to get 200 in bonus bets, win or lose. You can use those bets on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus. And if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER. And a reminder that this offer is in-app only. And you may have noticed the boots over my shoulder here. They are Brunt branded boots, and they are awesome. Their best-selling Marin work boots are not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof. So whether it's rain, mud, standing water, your feet will stay dry. And Brunt isn't just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs, from heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets. Brunt's durable design, their reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. All of Brunt's boots carry the names of real workers in the trades who test and inspire them. With temps dropping and holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself for the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get them something built to last. Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code CHGO at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com. Use our code CHGO. Order today and let them know you heard it here on our show.
Some quotes coming from the locker room.
Yeah. Do we have any post-game video ready to go?
Yeah.
Should we hear from Connor?
I mean, based on what's being thrown out there.
All right, let's hear from Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
Fire it up.
Yeah. I obviously in the moment you think it's penalty, but I got to control my emotions in a better way, and I put our team in a vulnerable spot there. So I just got to do better.
What did you say?
Next question. Sorry. I don't want to be rude, but I'm not gonna say it.
Was it that you turned around the second or third time, maybe that got it?
You gotta ask him. I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Just what happened with that whole third period. It just seemed that you guys have been very good in the third period. You had a great second, and then things looked like they turned.
I think they had a push, and we didn't skate like we did in the second. I thought our second was great. It was the best period, and we really took it to them, and we kind of got away from that a little bit. So we got to be better there in some situations.
You guys play Buffalo tomorrow, because it doesn't kind of help to have to immediately put a game like this behind you and focus on the next one.
I think so. Obviously it's a big one tomorrow. We kind of let that one slip away, and with how tight everything is, that's one we can't really lose. So we obviously have to go in there tomorrow and give a good effort.
And that breakaway, did you feel like you got your hands, or did you feel the contact?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched it or anything, but yeah, in the moment, you thought so, but who knows?
Is it hard to restrain yourself? I mean, obviously you kind of feel that, like, that's such a kind of big moment in the game as well.
Yeah, but in the end, you know, we're professionals. I'm a professional, and I gotta, you know, have a better response there when that doesn't go my way. So, you know, just learn from it and don't let it happen again.
This is a learning moment then for you?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think, you know, it's a competitive game. You know, everyone's gonna get frustrated, but just knowing time and place, and you know, some that ultimately lost us the game. So, you know, can't do that.
Tough to lose Burakovsky too in the first period. We'll find out what's going on with him, but tough to go 2+ periods without him.
For sure, especially a hit like that. You know, I think, I don't know. It's back-to-back games. Guys going right to the head, and I mean, nothing really happens. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, it sucks. He's a great player, and that's something that, you know, it's.
He swore.
He said the BS word.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can't have that kind of language on the Fast channel.
By the way, that's what we're talking about. That is leadership. That is your young star at the end of the game saying, I'm a professional and I have to have a better response there when it doesn't go my way. I've got to control my emotions in a better way. I put our team in a vulnerable spot there. Correct. Right. That is what we are saying.
Both things can be true.
Yes.
The refs sucked.
Yes.
And Bedard could be better in that situation. Both things could be true.
100%.
So yeah, good to see that, you know, he's upset, but also realizes that, yeah, we kind of did this to ourselves too. A lot of the same things we've just been talking about for the last 20 plus minutes. But it is nice for a change of pace to be, as a collective whole here, upset about a loss.
Yes.
For different reasons. You know, it's nice to have a little disagreement about why things fell apart, because that means this game matters. We haven't had a game matter in a long time. So hopefully tomorrow you get the response you want to see, because if you don't get 2 points in Buffalo and you get 0 points out of these back-to-back games, it's not ideal. Not ideal. So hopefully we get that response. We see these guys, you know, angry a bit and on a mission, and they go out and they dominate for 60 full minutes tomorrow, and they're going to have to do it without André Burakovsky.
Yeah. There is a chance that we look back on this game in a month or 2 months or 3 months and say, maybe that loss was a bit of a blessing in disguise.
Or,
because
God forbid, the other way. You know, you don't want this to get things.
They miss the playoff by 2 points.
You don't want this to lead to, like, okay, you go into Buffalo and you lose to Buffalo, and then Colorado's in town on Sunday, and all of a sudden you got a 3-game losing streak and you're facing adversity for the real first time with this particular group. That's why winning in Buffalo tomorrow is very important.
That is essential. We should, since everyone's mad at us already anyway, we should probably get to the Burakovsky hit. Do we got those stills I sent in? I got to say, and I hate that he's hurt. Blashill said he will miss tomorrow's game against Buffalo. Could Lindgren have softened the hit a little bit? Probably. But Burakovsky's got to have his head up. Like, that is, if anything, you can call a penalty on Schwartz there for tripping.
Yeah, I mean, Lindgren is one of those guys that always seems to walk that fine line.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like a Jacob Trouba, like some of these other guys, where the second he sees a guy get in a vulnerable position, he pounces. And that's what he did. But yeah, Burakovsky had his head down and became susceptible. He drilled him right in the head, which is never good.
Right.
But while with that play going, you know, it happens so fast. Do I think Lindgren purposely went out there to hit him in the head? No. Burakovsky got himself in a vulnerable position, or put in a vulnerable position, and he pounced. And he hit him square in the head.
Yeah.
Had he not stumbled, he would have got hit square in the chest.
Right, yeah. I mean, Burakovsky is bent at the hips and his head is leading.
I'm surprised there was no call. Usually, I mean, a guy gets hit in the head, his helmet comes flying off, you should call something there. I'm a little more surprised he didn't have to answer for that.
Yeah, they were on the power play, so I got maybe in the moment.
It happened in the first period.
But
You had 40 more
you
minutes.
had time, and there
You've
was a
done it
moment in the
all
third
season.
There was a moment late where Murphy went after him a little bit behind the net and like hit him up, like cross checked him.
That's when you need your Louis Crevier or Colton Dock. The next shift he's out there, you grab him and say,
I agree with
okay,
that.
you took one of our. You have to take this beating now.
There's got to be
That's happened so many times this year. To not have it happen tonight, that's upsetting.
Yes, I agree.
But maybe there was some karma at the very end there because Ryan Lindgren took a shot right off the hand.
Yeah, good luck with
i.e.,
that.
like Nick Foligno the other day, and was hurt. So maybe the karma gods came back and evened things out by the end of the night.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, because I really wanted to see. Look, whether you think the hit's legal or fair or clean or dirty, whatever. Every hit, it feels like every hit where there's contact at the head, there's going to be discussion about it. The expectation there, clean or dirty, whatever hit you're talking about, there's going to be a response. And I was like, there was a moment, I think maybe the first shift after the power play, Colton Dock was out on the ice. I was looking for Lindgren. He wasn't out there. And then Crevier was out there a few times, and it just never came to fruition. But I think at some point, you've kind of got to go find 55 and
cash in that receipt.
Yes, exactly.
I
don't know how Lindgren can avoid the head when he's coming at him with his head like poking at him like my dog does when he wants to eat, like, hey, feed me, nudging me with his head.
I mean, his head was already at shoulder level as he started moving for the hit. Unfortunate result. Do I think he was targeting the head? No. Unfortunately, that was the main point of contact, and it didn't look good.
He probably could have softened it a little bit, pulled up a little bit. Easy for us to say,
but his style of play
he's a physical player.
That guy that walks that line, and especially when a guy gets in a position where he's susceptible to a big hit, he's going to take advantage of it. He's done that his entire career. So him making that play was no surprise. Seeing a guy's helmet fly off and be down on the ice, you would think that would make an arm go up.
I was surprised there was no call. But
and
again,
you would think that would make a guy.
But if what we're learning about, what's his name? Justin Key, is that he fears what Jeff Blashill called him. And I'm not going to put him on a 5-on-3. That wouldn't be fair. Well,
I wouldn't have even cared if you wiped out the rest of that power play because you jumped on his back and started pounding him into goo. I wouldn't have cared.
That's the thing.
It would have been 4-on-4. Fine.
Yeah.
Message sent. You don't do that to our players.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed that nothing happened. He didn't have to. He didn't have to answer for that hit.
Right. There's got to be
very surprised because this is especially from a team that's done, has backed each other up all season long. We saw it from Crevier with Nazar. We saw it for Colton Dock with Nazar. Maybe they only like sticking up for Frank Nazar. I don't know. But I was surprised that Ryan Lindgren did not have to fight, have to answer for that. That was disappointing.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be addressed in the video session as well. Could we just put the stills up again one more time of Burakovsky? And someone said, like, he wasn't targeting. I said, well, he was. Well, what else is he going to hit? Look at the picture.
Targeting the head is
Go back to the other one, Sarah.
Targeting a head is when a guy is standing straight up and you go up and, his head is at shoulder length right there. It's an unfortunate result. It's borderline dirty. Yeah, he got hit in the head. He's got hurt.
Burakovsky is watching his pass with his head down. That is like the number one thing you are taught as a young hockey player is to keep your head up and know where your surroundings are. Again, call the trip on Schwartz.
Something.
And David Garcia says, I'm rage baiting. If you've ever watched this show, we've been on the air for 3 friggin' years. It's not what we do here.
No.
I'm giving you my opinion. And if that was Connor Murphy laying out Jordan Eberle, you'd have T-shirts printed of the hit by now. Don't lie to yourselves. And now I'm a social justice warrior.
Whatever.
Because I didn't think the hit was dirty? That doesn't even make sense. All right. We can't play the video, Keystrawn05. We don't have the rights to do that. All right. We're going to hear from Mario Tirabassi. He is standing by at the UC. We'll also hear from Jeff Blashill there. We have a lot of super chats to get to. We will get to them as well. Stick around, back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. And I need to pull my reads up here because my computer is jacking around. But I want to tell you about our new sponsor, Senorita THC Margaritas. Senorita is the full-flavor THC margarita that's rewriting the rules of happy hour. Crafted by wine industry experts. Ooh, fancy. Senorita blends real fruit juice, organic Mexican agave, and a hint of pink salt for award-winning taste. With 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams of fast-acting THC, every can delivers a smooth social buzz without the hangover. That is key. It's non-alcoholic, real juice, fast onset THC. It's low-calorie, no booze, no hangover. It's got a really light buzz. It'll hit you in about 30 minutes. So pace yourself. Know how you react to THC. Start slow, but you're going to love Senorita when you get it. No matter if you're celebrating Victory Monday after a Bears game or you had a game you're trying to forget like tonight, you'll wake up without the hangover. Senorita brings award-winning taste to your tailgate lineup. Stock your cooler with something deliciously different. Want to try it now? Scan that QR code on your screen for 20% off your first order with code CHGO. You can also find it at Binny's or order on DoorDash. Again, scan that QR code, use our code CHGO to save 20%. Must be 21 plus. Please enjoy Senorita responsibly. And forget one day only. Black Friday is going on all month long at Ray Chevy in Fox Lake. Come in today to shop Black Friday sales events and drive home with 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevy models, plus no payments for 120 days. That's a long time. And it's one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. They're able to keep their prices competitive, so you know you'll get a great deal. Plus, Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself and don't miss out on their Black Friday sales event going on all month long for 10 to 30% off MSRP on new Chevy models, plus no payments for 120 days. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. And together, let's go out to United Center and welcome Mario Tirabassi, who is there in the locker room and was there while Jeff Blashill was meeting the media. We heard from Connor Bedard. Unhappy, took accountability, loved to see it. What else did we learn post game?
Well, yeah, we'll get to Jeff Blashill's comments on both the Bedard stuff and the Burakovsky stuff. So I'll get all that the off topic stuff out of the way. The second period was basically the best period of hockey that the team has played in the middle frame this season, dominating Seattle, and then it completely flipped on its head on the third period. And Blashill kind of chalked up that to, interestingly enough, the start of the game. He said that at the start of the game, they didn't have enough guys ready to go, as far as the adage that we've heard all season, it's an every night league. To that effect, he basically said they didn't have enough guys ready to go for the game, ready, from puck drop. And that was evident in the first period because it really wasn't a great period of hockey. You would have figured the Blackhawks, the way they've been playing, they've got some momentum going, they've got some good vibes going. So you would have thought that they would have gotten off to a better start against a team like the Kraken. And then it showed up in the second period. But then second period, and on the final 40 minutes of the game, you're playing only with 10 forwards. So I think as the third period went on, Seattle pushed. The guys didn't have the legs either from the start of the game and then carrying over into the third period, and then you got tired guys out there. So it just kind of breaks down slowly over the final 20 minutes of the game. And then, of course, the final 4 minutes of the game, the final sequence, that's a real backbreaker. But as far as the overall effort goes, you would have thought this team would be motivated against a Kraken team that, 10 days ago, they played them on the road and outplayed them and lost 3-1. Another night where I'd say overall you'd give the advantage to the Blackhawks tonight for the 60 minutes combined. But when it mattered most, Seattle was able to come in and steal this game. And the Hawks should, I mean, even down to 10 guys, like you got to feel like this is 2 points slipping away. And I know you guys kind of talked about it a little bit. You know, if we're talking about playoff races, if we're talking about meaningful games in March and April, 2 points against this Seattle team who now jumps you in the standings, that matters. So that's a tough way to come away from this game.
Yeah, and this is the 11-7 thing. I've liked it. I think it's worked, but this is now the 4th time, I think, top of my head. Dickinson twice, Foligno, and now Burakovsky leave the game early, and you're stuck with 10 for the majority of the game.
Nazar game too in Calgary.
Yeah, so that's the 5th.
Yeah,
time.
I mean, obviously that probably shouldn't happen that often.
You would hope
you don't go in there thinking, well, oh boy, I can't, But
there's still no one played it. Like Connor Bedard led all skaters. Is this updated? Yeah, with 21:06. So no one had to like take on a ton of minutes all of a sudden. They were just kind of more evenly distributed.
Yeah, I mean, this is the downside of the 11-7. Having to play with 10 forwards is definitely not something you want to do, but I don't think you go into very many games thinking I'm going to lose a forward for 2 periods. And unfortunately, it's happened a bunch of times already this season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unfortunate and bad luck to keep having it happen. It seems like every time the Blackhawks get one of their guys back, Tyler Bertuzzi comes in tonight and, overshadowed by all this stuff, is an amazing game from Tyler Bertuzzi, especially in that second period. But, now Alex, Burakovsky, André Burakovsky's out. Jason Dickinson, he's close to coming back. It's like they just can't seem to get everybody going at the same time.
Yeah, and Dickinson has been skating a lot, so maybe tomorrow he's in the lineup. We'll have to see. But Landon Slager didn't play tonight, so they have bodies that'll fill in for tomorrow's game. But again, losing Burakovsky the way that he's been playing this season, like that's a tough blow. So hopefully it's not a long-term thing to be out with that. I mean, you guys heard it from Connor. This is back-to-back games where you got Connor Murphy taking a hit to the head, and there's no penalty on the play called, and then Burakovsky gets hit in the head, and there's no penalty on the play called. And honestly, there's no answer from Lindgren. Like, I side with Connor. That's BS. I think we've seen this Blackhawks team stick up for themselves and their teammates a lot this season. So I'm a little surprised that they didn't just, force the issue, so to say. But it seems like there may have been some refusal to oblige, I guess.
That, to me, that was the most surprising thing. I mean, anytime head contact's made on a hit, there's going to be a ton of discourse about it, and it'll be 50-50 depending on the fandom. But like, again, that there was no, and I get you're on a power play, so maybe take a number. They had a lot of time to take a number.
For over 45 minutes to get them back for that.
That one.
And as I said earlier, I don't care if you wipe out 45 seconds of a power play to defend your teammate. You do it.
Well, and that's the thing is the first guy to react is Teuvo Teravainen on the power play. Like, you don't have anybody out there that's gonna go up to Ryan Lindgren and give him a what for. That's worth anything, So I think in that instance, you're probably thinking, don't give up the power play, and you don't have. I mean, who else is out there? Teravainen, Nazar, Bedard, like none of those guys you're gonna want to drop the gloves. So, to not have anything, and it was at the end of the period too, right? Like there's 2 minutes left in the period, so Lindgren probably leaves the ice and doesn't come back on. But even still, I like you guys, like anytime I saw Colton Dacco out there, I would have figured, okay, try and match him up with Lindgren, but just didn't happen. Let's hear from. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just gonna say maybe you're down 10 forwards. You probably there's that conscious. We don't want to have 9 forwards for at least 5 minutes, possibly 17 if you get
Sure.
an instigator. But you got 7 defensemen, send one of the defensemen.
Yeah. There's
It's
plenty
just,
of guys that can handle it.
It's just, it was surprising, especially the way they've been all season.
Yep. Let's hear from head coach Jeff Blashill on the Burakovsky situation, and then we can after that dig into the Bedard stuff. A very eventful game. So this is what Blashill said after the game regarding Burakovsky not playing tomorrow and what he saw in the play.
He won't play tomorrow, so we'll see. Moving on beyond that, he won't play tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Did you see anything on that hit?
I actually just watched it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he doesn't have the puck and he gets hit square in the head. Like, of all the stuff that was called tonight, he doesn't have the puck. He never had the puck. Like, he had the puck up in the air. I guess if that can, I mean, if he passed that puck and stared at his pass, I get it. The puck's up in the air and doesn't have the puck. It's not even close to him, and he gets hit directly in the head.
I'm trying to read into his demeanor on the Burke. Like, he's not going to play tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know him well enough to be able to read into the severity thing. We probably don't know yet. And concussions, if it is a concussion, we don't know this, to be clear.
No.
There's no way to tell how long those are going to last.
No, it's not a set timetable. So hopefully, if that's what it is, he goes through the protocols and responds well, and we'll see what happens. But, that's the main key here is hopefully this isn't too serious for Burakovsky, who's been very good this year, been a great fit on this team, on that top power play, on that top line. And unfortunately, that was his biggest issue his last couple of years in Seattle, was dealing with the injuries. So hopefully this doesn't send him down that path.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing on a career best pace to begin the season. So yeah, we know for sure it's not tomorrow. It's not going to happen. But hopefully, hopefully it's not a long-term thing. Just for his health, obviously, first and foremost, but also because how important and how well he's been playing, how important he's been to the team. So yeah, and on the hit, like it's again like he's not in control of the puck. Clearly, it's a puck battle. It's going up in the air. He's trying to find it, and Lindgren just kind of tees him up in a vulnerable spot. And I think to not have a call on that, especially it's the next game after Connor Murphy's hit, which again, he's clearing a puck, he changes levels, but it's a hit right into the head. And nothing happens. Like I got to imagine the Blackhawks are feeling some extreme frustration that's happened twice, and there's been no penalties called. So I'd imagine maybe an email, strongly worded email, is going to go to the league office from Kyle Davidson's desk, but we'll see.
I don't know. There might be a knock on the referee's door tonight. Hey, I've seen it. I've seen it in the AHL level. I'm sure it happens in the NHL level. I've seen AHL general managers go into their ref room after a game and get their 10 cents worth. So
yeah,
you never know.
We say this after every controversial play, and there's been a lot of them this year. A lot of this could be solved with the refs had to face the media or face questioning after a tough play. Other leagues do it. I get that they're gonna protect the referees, but that's the stuff that frustrates fans more than anything, is feeling like we get no explanation. We just got to sit here and take it. That's incredibly frustrating.
Well, it's like
fans.
It's instances like these, and then it's the reviews and everything that we've been subjected to so far this season. Like it's been a rough go, and it's the NHL. Like, do you expect things to change or get better or be different?
Nope.
Probably not. But
probably worse, actually.
Yeah, but it's starting to feel, especially since games now feel there's more weight to them. Each point matters more as we move on with this Blackhawks team and in this season. You can't let things like that go. And if honestly, like you have to have a team mentality, and I think these guys will figure it out. You know, a lot of them are young in their careers, but the veterans can say it too. The refs aren't going to, you know, be the ones to have your back in those situations. Then, you know, the policing the game themselves kind of thing needs to occur. So we'll see how the team responds moving forward in those situations. But I hope this is a game where they kind of maybe perk up their ears and say, look, if you know we're pushing against teams that are right square with us, you know, the gap in the league, you know, is not wide. What is it, like 9 points is the difference between first and last in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. You know, the Western Conference isn't that far away. Alex Vlasic was talking about it this morning. There's like the difference of 2 points between, you know, where the Hawks are at right now in the bottom of the West. Like, you know, it's not a wide gap. So each game is going to matter. So you can't be letting these things make the difference.
All right, what else do we hear from Blash after this one?
He did talk about the sequence at the end of the game with Bedard on the breakaway, and what he saw, what he did and did not hear. So this is what he had to say about all that.
Well, it's a penalty, you know, so like that's where like we got to control. We can control it. When I walk in the room and see, like, when you don't have position of the guy and you put your stick in there and you hit his glove, which he did. Yes, he got the stick after, but the first contact was on his glove. That's a penalty. It's a penalty. And then, you know, like I don't know what was said. Better have been really, 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 really personal to be that sensitive about it, because you're deciding games. So if it was super personal, I wasn't there. I don't know, but it better have been really, really, really personal. If you're not gonna have enough thick skin to just keep playing through it.
I mean, he's right. There's no question it was a penalty, and there's no question that it was an overreaction by the referees.
Yes, absolutely.
By the referee. Sorry, Justin Key. It's just, and we saw somewhat lip reading. It was nothing that bad.
At least not that the cameras caught.
You know the words that are deeply personal that he's talking about. You can see those on TV because Jeff Blashill had one of his own for the referee.
Jeff Blashill said it.
Yes.
When Justin Key wouldn't go over there to talk to him.
Talking about his cat, apparently. And there might have been some sounds from Connor Bedard, but he's frustrated. He's had the game on his stick, and they took that away from him, and it should have been a penalty. There's no doubt about it. I don't. Look. I like what Blashill has to say. I got no beef with it at all. He's right. It sucks. And as we're sort of rehashing all these things that have happened to the Hawks this year, it is odd. It's often that they're on the wrong side of really questionable things happening.
Yeah, it's super frustrating, and that's probably led. You know, I don't think Bedard's reaction to that was just because of that missed call. I think it was a culmination of some of the things that's gone on over the past few games and earlier in this year. I think he just had enough of like, what do we got to do here? But you know, we've said all season that this team is different. We've said many times that, you know, things have happened within the course of a game that last year's team or the team from 2 or 3 years ago would have fallen apart in a game. Let's see if this holds true for losing a game like this, the way it went down, all the stuff we've been talking all night about. The team from last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that sends them on like a 9-game losing streak, a game like that.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're going to kick the crap out of the Sabres.
That's what I'm hoping happens. We've been saying all year, this room is different. God, I hope they prove us right tomorrow and just dominate a full game.
Yep,
I hope so. Yeah, I hope that this is a game that does kind of snowball the opposite direction, and I think I hope they have the confidence to know, like, hey, like, we just won, you know, 5 out of 6 or whatever it was, 5 out of 7, and they got points in their last 6 games. Like, they know that they've been playing well, so don't let this game where some calls or non-calls didn't go your way, don't let that snowball into 7 games in the wrong direction. You have a lot more home games coming up to close the month. This is the one road game out of a 9-game stretch, and it's against the Sabres. Yeah, it's the second night of the back-to-back. Sure, it's against the Sabres. Like you can't have the start to the game you had tonight against the Sabres, but you should still beat the Sabres. And I think you should have some extra motivation to go out and get those 2 points that you didn't get tonight. So I think this team, I believe this team has the attitude and the confidence to go and do it. Now they just got to go out and execute it. And I do like that Jeff Blashill publicly is not necessarily, going after the refs to the tune of what would potentially be a fine from the league, but he's laying it out there that, like, look, if you're going to call what was a penalty tonight a penalty, and then you're not going to do anything about the Burakovsky hit, and you're going to give Connor an unsportsmanlike in that situation in which you missed what is a penalty in a big moment, he must have cursed your family to hear from here to the end of time if you're going to call that a penalty. And 2 things can be true. The ref should be able to handle what a 20-year-old says to him. But also, I think Connor can't yap that much at the ref. But even still, like, that's a tough look, I would say, on the ref in that scenario. In a 2-2 game, that's, it's, we don't want the refs to manage the game with penalties, but that's kind of one of those times where you're like, are you really in this moment going to call it unsportsmanlike? I don't know.
Darren Pang was really pissed about it and saying in this moment you can't do it. And yeah, it should not have been called. Absolutely not. I think I don't know if our message is getting misconstrued here because we're being told we're backpedaling now because Jeff Blashill said that the refs are deciding games.
Listening's a skill sometimes.
Listen, of course, Connor Bedard had the game on his stick. It's not backpedaling. If you don't think that Jeff Blashill tomorrow in the film session, if you think that he's going to spend the third period portion of the film session talking about, and this is when the ref screwed us, and not the 12-1 shots against advantage, you're out of your mind. You've not been paying attention to what Jeff Blashill's doing. Did it play a factor in this game? 100%. Is it the sole reason they lost? It is not. They had a 2-0 lead that they blew before that opportunity even happened. And you, Hawks fans, should expect more from a team that has shown you more. And they want you to expect more of them. They don't want to be, like I said, pat them on the head for a nice little effort, really good 40 minutes. No. These are professionals. Like, it's okay to hold them to a standard now because they're telling you, look at us. Look where we are. We demand respect. We want respect, and we're not getting it.
Paul read there for a second. Hey, look at us.
Yeah, like it's just, it's okay. It is okay to be pissed that the team let this game get away with it, and then when they found an opportunity and at the same time, when they had the opportunity to undo the fall apart with a Bedard breakaway, they get denied that. Be pissed about that too.
Yes,
but it's not one thing.
Both things are true in this game.
Yes.
The officiating was bad, and the third period sucked. Both of those are true.
That's all we're saying. I don't know why this is controversial.
Did one play into the other? I don't know. Probably not. But yes, the Bedard sequence with the official was terrible from start to finish. Not calling a penalty on Burakovsky, not ideal. Not a great call. Should have been a response for that. But none of that changes the fact that you had a 2-0 lead, played the best period of the season, and followed it up with the worst period of the season.
Yeah,
they had their periods missequenced.
Yeah,
usually their first period's good, third period's good, middle period's bad. You had the bad first period, your best second period, and they acted like it was the third, and then they forgot they had to play the third period. So they're just Just get your sequencing right. It's fine.
Again, Zachary Stone is the one yelling at us the most. No one is saying that. We're saying you guys are ignoring the actual factor that the players and the coach all said it was a deciding factor. It was a factor. They were winning 2-0 and were outshot 12-1 leading up to that point. It was 2-2 when it happened. What are you talking about? It didn't start the third period, and it was a parade to the penalty box because the refs felt like it. They got screwed on a play. Yes. Do you think Kraken fans are pissed that Joey Decord got a penalty for poking Tyler Bertuzzi's skate? We all looked at each other like, didn't he just trip himself? We were all laughing at that call like, okay.
The Hawks scored on that power
Yes,
play.
they did.
Well, he actually did trip him.
Yes, he did. But again, if Spencer Knight had done that and the Kraken scored on the power play, Hawks fans would be livid. Oh, he barely touched his blade. Like, come on, guys. Let's try to have some objectivity here. It's not obviously the Hawks winning is great for all of us. We said the other day when it's a non-game day, we're upset because we wish it was a game day because we're enjoying the hell out of the season. But it's not just going to be the Hawks are great and the only part of this game is that the refs screwed them. If that's your takeaway from this game, you weren't paying attention. You weren't. I'm sorry. Look at the numbers. Greg said it to start the show. First period, at 5-on-5, Hawks have 16 shot attempts to 15. Second period, 25 shot attempts to 9. Third period, the Hawks had 2 shot attempts at even strength. That's not the referee's fault.
I
Play the game.
What makes that sting even more was the Kraken scored with 2 seconds left in that penalty, too. It wasn't like they scored right on the ensuing faceoff. They almost had that thing killed. 2 seconds left. I mean, they kill that off. The momentum switches. You know, you're feeling good. Like, hey, we bad call. We overcame it. That's what stinks about that even more. They were so close to killing it off, and that made it. I think that made it hurt more than if they would have just scored 7 seconds into the power play.
Yes, all these things are true. The Hawks had a horrible third. The refs had a horrible game.
Yes.
That was a horrible blown call to not call a penalty on the Bedard slash.
The combination of all that stuff.
It was an overreaction by the referee to call a penalty on Bedard, while at the same time, Bedard should have gotten back into the play because it was a tie game with 4-something minutes left. Go defend and then talk on your way to the box or talk at the bench. All these things are true together. There's not one defining factor that cost the Hawks this game tonight, aside from the fact that they let it get away from them in a third. I don't know why this is a controversial take or rage bait. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, you can look at the game in a bird's eye view. The whole entire third period was trending in the wrong direction. But you have the key moment, and that's what this team has kind of been this season is, for this is now 20 games into the year for the quarter mark of the season. They've been a team that usually doesn't get more chances on net than their opposition, usually doesn't get more scoring chances, usually doesn't get more high danger chances. But at the right moments, in key moments, they've been able to capitalize, and they've been able to, get outchanced 15-7 in a game, let's say scoring chances wise. But especially in Spencer Knight games, you've been able to give up maybe one of those chances against, and you score on 2 of them, and you're able to, really when it matters, make those moments count. And we can have the debate about sustainability and everything, but in this game, that third period was exactly like that. They're getting outchanced, they're getting walked, they're getting outscored, but then you have that moment where Connor Bedard's got that breakaway. Who else on this team would you want to have a breakaway? No one. So he's got that chance, and then if he just misses that breakaway, you go, damn. And then if Seattle scores, you say, wow, wheels just fell off in the third period. Can't let that happen. But the fact that it played out the way it did, and then they score the third period, or the third goal rather, you look at that sequence and that key moment and you say, that breakaway, that missed call, then that subsequent penalty, like, yeah, you can say everything that led up to that moment is all important, but that is the key moment of this game where the Hawks have the chance to stop the bleeding, be the ones to get the third goal. It ends up going the other way.
Yeah, I agree with that. But we're going to go to overtime, by the way. So if you're watching us on one of the fast channels on your Samsung or Roku or whatever, switch over to allchgo.com while we continue the show. I think you summarized it right. I just, was that the key moment of the game? Yes, because it was the best player on either team with the game on the line. But it should not have gotten to that point, is what I'm trying to say. I just don't, maybe I'm not articulating it correctly, but I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I don't.
The way that the game was going, and the way that you feel about this Blackhawks team, you feel that they're better. The first game they played against the Kraken, they were the better team. Up until the third period tonight, they were the better team, and you felt, okay, this is going to be going into that third period. At least I felt this is the 2 points they didn't get in Seattle, and now you come away with two games in which you feel like even for the whole 60 minutes, you were the better team. And you get 0 points to show for it. So it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, that's it. And everyone's frustrated.
Well, thank God they play tomorrow. Get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Get right back on the ice and move on.
And Tim says, will Dickinson be back Sunday? He seems really close. Remember the day he got hurt, we said, don't come back if you're ready, unless you're ready. Unless you are fully 100% ready.
He even said that the other
I
day.
do not want him rushing back tomorrow because Burakovsky's hurt. You've got Landon Slaggert there. If you give him another day and he can return against the Avalanche, that's better, right? You hope that this team, even without Burakovsky, can handle the Buffalo Sabres. You hope, because then it is the juggernaut of the NHL coming in here on Monday, which is going to be a huge test. And
Sunday.
I'm pretty confident they'll be ready. What did I say? Monday? Sunday. I don't know what day it is anymore. So the next game, Sunday. It'll be a huge test for them. And I expect them to be ready. I really do think that this experience today is going to go a long way for this team. Just because of the way they're coached, because of how they're made up, because of the personality of the team, I think they're going to be raring to go tomorrow from the second the puck drops. And if they're not, I will be shocked.
Yeah, it would be definitely surprising if they come out and lay an egg tomorrow night. That would be against everything we've seen from this group from day one.
Yeah.
We've said it all year that, this team is different. So prove it tomorrow and be ready to play. And I think with this coaching staff that they're not going to let them, this game derail what they've got going on.
All right. Anything else to add, Mario, before I let you go?
I'm not going to spoil it, but we'll be alert. We'll be alert tomorrow morning. Be alert tomorrow morning is all I'll say.
Okay.
I'm going to be sleeping.
Don't sleep too long.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, Mario.
All right. See you guys.
All right, that's Mario Tirabassi from the United Center. Follow him on Twitter at Mario_Tirabassi. All right, we've got a bunch of super chats. Let's get through these. Sorry, everybody. It's been a very newsy show. Charlie the Bacon Guy, $10 says, supporting to the fine any Blackhawks player or coach gets for their comments tonight. No excuse to blow that 2-0 lead, but the refs blew that. There you go, $10 from Charlie. $10 more from Adrian says, the refs screwed us repeatedly on the no call on Burakovsky hit, the Bedard slash, and a cowardly unsportsmanlike penalty. NHL has a referee problem. I agree with all those points, except all those individual things are correct. Yeah, there is a referee problem in this league for sure.
It's not been great.
And I know, if I know anything about the NHL, is that they're going to be accountable and they're going to fix it.
Well, they'll have the officiating running like a well-oiled, perfectly justifiable machine come playoff time. Can't wait.
And it's going to be innovative.
Right down the line. Fair and just like we all dream of.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Healer 1515, $2 says unacceptable. No one grabbed Lindgren to go. Yep, we all agree with that. Surprised it didn't happen.
Lindgren to go. Is that the Chappelle?
Lindgren to go. Lindgren. What is that commercial? Take it to go. Is it Robinson's Ribs? Whatever it was. Carson's Ribs.
Carson's Ribs. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it to go. Take it to go. Someone will know that.
want
The olds
ribs.
will get it.
I want ribs now.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting ribs. Alex says, crazy they don't adapt when the dump and chase doesn't work. $2 super. I think he's talking about the Hawks there. I don't know. I think it was they were just having trouble getting the puck away from the Kraken in the third. It just, you can't dump it if you never have it.
This is true.
That was kind of was the issue there.
They weren't chasing dumps in the third period. They were chasing Kraken.
Yeah, and like what we were talking about the first 40 minutes, like look how much simpler they're playing, and look at they're chipping the puck deep and they're chasing it down, and like they're not doing this east and west stuff. They're going north and south. They're playing that straightforward game, and it gave them their best. I agree with Jeff. I disagree with Jeff Blashill about the first period. I think they were good in the first period.
They started good, but the second half wasn't great.
I think part of that was Kraken-y. They're just so happy to play boring hockey.
Well, yeah, and I even said it like when the Hawks scored first, I was like, that's huge.
Yeah,
because in the first game, this Kraken scored first, and then they just clogged the zone, and the Hawks couldn't figure that out. So I thought, oh, okay, they're up 2-0, should be good.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen that way.
It did not. $5 from Joey Smith says, refs suck, but ultimately they played like Bort Hole in the third period. Way to throw it back, Joey. Thank you for the $5. Bort Hole.
My favorite of the holes.
That's the best one. Let's see. Garden Hoser, $2 says, best second period, worst third period, frustrating. Yep, a very, very frustrating game indeed. Lebowski, 55, $5 says, in the Pulley voice, Wirtz family, board of directors, you got to earn your calls. Yes, thank you for that. And Natural Cat Trick sends $2. I don't know if that was in reference to an earlier super chat. We'll see if we can find it. There we go. He says, I appreciate you teaching us how to fan. You are right. Hawks lost because of a third period now, not because of a few bad calls. We're not trying to teach you how to fan. I think here's the thing. I've been covering this team for a really long time. This is my 17th year covering the Blackhawks in some capacity. And I have 30 years of fandom before that. What has always frustrated me about the coverage of the Blackhawks in this town is that they're not treated like the other teams. They don't get the attention. They don't get the analysis. They don't get the criticism. They don't get the praise, right? And it sucks all around. So when we had the opportunity, first it was being on the score occasionally when the Hawks were really, really good. Then when that died down, I started the Madhouse podcast with James DeVoe, and now we do this, and it's been awesome. Our goal, you, Mario, James, everyone I've ever done a show with, has been to treat the Blackhawks and to treat Hawks fans like the fans of the big boy teams in town. And to treat the Hawks like the big boy team in town. Because they are. They're an original six team. They've won 3 championships lately. Can't say that about any other Chicago team. So I'm not just going to come on here, and Greg's not going to come on here, and Mario's not going to come on here, after a game they let go for various reasons, which we have covered ad nauseum in this postgame show, and just be the meatball, blame the ref show. That I will never do that. If you want that, it's out there.
Well, I'm sure there's be all kinds of shows all across the tubes of you,
and that's fine
with that. It's out there for
that's
sure.
Fine.
And yeah, I love the frustration, and I love the passion of the chat that they're pissed, and that's good because that means this game meant something.
Yes, it did,
and that's awesome. You don't agree with my opinion of it? Fine. That's part of the game. Like, I have my take, you have your take, awesome. But the fact that everybody is upset maybe about different things. You know, you're upset about the refs. I'm more upset about, you know, the how the play, you know, went down in the third period. But the bottom line is we all can agree that this was a game the Blackhawks should have won. And for whatever reason, they didn't. And we're upset that they didn't. Because, damn it, they need those 2 points. That's exciting to me because that means...
We have been trying to get here for years.
Yes, that means like everything we've been saying for the last 3 years is finally starting to turn around and come to fruition, and they're playing games that mean something, and that's awesome. So we can, you know, disagree on why they lost this game. Yes, 10 forwards. They've done this 5 times already this year.
Yeah.
Like, as whatever reason you want to say, you know, and I love that the guy that has the worst takes in the history of CHGO say we have the takes are wrong. None of you probably can see that because all you have him banned or
You have
blocked.
to be more specific.
But yes, so thank you, the founder of the bad take, for saying, if you're saying my takes are wrong, then I'm pretty proud of my take.
Yeah. And game puck. As we mentioned earlier, a guy who played absolutely awesome from this moment this game started, Tyler Bertuzzi, is our game puck winner. I gotta mark the. I don't know if I marked the winner last time.
Who was the winner last time?
Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard.
Bedard.
Yeah.
So I'll after the game I will count to make sure I marked the last one. But this is Tyler Bertuzzi. Oh, this is crazy. This is only his second game puck. You could argue aside from, but well, can't argue. He has been the most consistent Hawks forward aside from Bedard.
Hey, he's the reason why he's our backboard.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like, he was awesome tonight. And boy, him being on the ice makes such a difference for this team. Such a difference. He's so effective, as what Blashill was saying the other day. Like, he just wins puck battles, gets into corners, goes in the net, and basically said, like, Tyler's willingness to go to the net inspires other players to also go to the net.
Yeah,
when he's out there.
He says it's contagious.
100%.
People see what he does, they want to emulate it, and it was great to see him back out there. He had some, you know, that second period, you know, was the full Tyler Bertuzzi experience. You know, he had the goal, the real nice setup, the passing play with Tavo.
That was
Nazar.
unbelievable.
That was a great goal, 10th goal of the season already. Then he draws the penalty on the Jacour, like you said earlier, with the tripping. But that whole shift was funky. You know, that's why I'm bummed that like the game ended the way it did. We had to spend all the time arguing about referees. That shift was insane because Matty Beniers breaks his stick, and then he gets a slap shot off the foot. He's got no stick. He's on one foot, and then Bertuzzi is all alone, nobody within 30 feet of him, and
That was crazy.
he might have, you know,
He was tripped.
Yes, he was.
It was very like, boop,
but it,
he
you know,
booped him.
You know,
I thought he seriously stepped on the puck or tripped on his stick.
yeah, and then they showed the replay. I was like, okay, yeah, the stick was in the skate. That's the right call. But that was just such a funny shift. And then, of course, they score. He sets up. The best play he made all night was the assist on the power play goal, where he beats. It wasn't Larson. Whoever the defenseman was. The big guy.
Yeah, what is
24. Guy was on the. I'm drawing a complete blank. But
Alexiak. 400th
yeah.
game for him by the night.
Yes.
And 200 for Vlasic tonight.
Yes. But he beats him to the puck and then makes a one-handed pass across the ice that somehow gets under two Kraken sticks, gets on the stick of Teravainen, and he puts it in the net. Like, just that second period was awesome for Bertuzzi.
There's an angle of that Tavo goal where it's like from the goal line, like it's almost as if Bertuzzi was wearing a GoPro, and you can see Tavo's like his mouth is wide open, like, oh my god, that pass hit my. He is so excited. He scored the easiest goal he'll ever score. And you can just see the fake of the face of Tavo as he's like, holy crap, what a pass! That was unreal. Dude, we saw hints of him like this last year. He has been this Tyler Bertuzzi every game.
Yeah, it's great to see.
And he has been a huge, huge catalyst for this team. All right. That is 15 extra minutes. And we're back at it tomorrow night. 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock puck drop. We will be here for Hawks and Sabres. Let's hope we are celebrating. We don't want Noodle Man gathering too much dust. I'm confident the Hawks will take this loss, rally from it, learn from it, and beat up on the Buffalo Sabres.
You got to have pregame wings to make it happen.
Oh,
Buffalo
no.
wings.
No, not that.
Enjoy that.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 5:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.